guys, it's Jazzy, and today I'm here with NBA legend Patrick Ewing. Mr. Ewing, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Jazzy. It's great to meet you. But when you first came up, you were talking a lot of trash that you was going to dunk on me and all that stuff. So when this is all over, we might have to get on the court.
All right, you know what? Fine, I'll take you to the court. We'll see who's the best basketball player now.
You probably get me right now. You're a lot younger than I am.
Hey, you never know. I still have the knees, okay? I still got the knees, all right?
My knees are gone.
So you were born in Kingston, Jamaica, and later moved to Massachusetts when you were 13 years old. How did you manage to develop into one of the top players in the country in just a few years?
I moved from Kingston, Jamaica to Cambridge, Massachusetts when I was 12. And it's funny because when I first started playing, I was terrible. I didn't know anything about basketball, and I was able to learn from the friends that I had who took me on the playground, and also my first sixth grade coach. He started teaching me the fundamentals about basketball. But one thing I have to tell kids, I don't care what it is you aspire to be it a basketball player, be it a lawyer, doctor, or whatever. If it's something that you dream and aspire to be, you have to give everything that you can to try to achieve that.
Yes, you are definitely right on that, and I want to give props to you as well because I know that in Jamaica, you had little basketball experience, and you played other sports, obviously, and I feel like that's great that you actually were able to fully indulge yourself as a kid with all your time to a sport that you didn't really know much of, but you found fun. And I feel like all kids need to find something that they find really fun. Not only is it great to put your energy into that, but it's also getting yourself fit and you're making sure to take care of yourself in a healthy way.
Definitely. I think it's great that when kids are doing sports. Also, being outside. I tell my younger kids now, they all want to be on their devices. I'm like, look, get off the devices, get outside, run up and down, play basketball, play soccer, go swimming. You have all this opportunity, all these different things that you can do. So why just be in the house on your devices? But I think everything that you said is right on. You have to be able to, with obesity being so high in this country, it's great that you are outside doing other things other than just sitting around the house.
You are definitely right on that. Not only that, but I also feel like there must have been a lot of adjustments that you had to make as well. Because moving straight from Jamaica to Massachusetts, I'm sure not only in lifestyle, but also in climate, there's a lot of things that you have to really think about when you move.
Oh, definitely. The climate was definitely one. In Jamaica, it's hot year round. I moved to Cambridge, Massachusetts, where it's freezing cold in the wintertime.
Oh my gosh.
And then, even though I spoke English, it was with a dialect. So I used to get in a lot of arguments, a lot of fights with my classmates because they used to tease me because I spoke with a different accent. So all of those things, I thought that it helped me to be the person that I am today. I try to treat people the way I want them to treat me or my kids. So I think that has helped me to develop into a very good person.
Yes, and like you said, treat others how you want to be treated. That's something that everyone needs to live by. So being drafted in 1985 into the NBA and later retiring in 2002, you were able to play basketball for 3 decades straight, which I find really amazing. During your time playing until now, what are your thoughts about the development of the sport and major changes that you have noticed in this generation and future generations?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough, like you said, to play a lot of years. I played 17 years in the NBA. Then, I also played 4 years in college. Now a lot of kids only go to school for 1 year. I've seen basketball, the evolution of basketball in my lifetime, from when I played to the way that it is now. The NBA wanted a more free-flowing game. Not unlike when I played, it's much more physical, it's much more, you could chuck people, do all these different things physically to the opponent. But I think that now, I'm not going to say which one is better than the other. I think that the game has definitely grown. It's now a more worldwide sport. I think the NBA has done an outstanding job of growing the game, and I love it. I love watching it. I love cheering for my team and all that.
And I also wanted to add on that I find it really great how back in the 80s and 90s, because I saw some clips on YouTube in the 80s and 90s, a lot of players were really tough, and it was a lot more physical back then, to say the least. Some of the games looked like wrestling matches to me, honestly.
The best stranglehold and pile-up, Steve Stepanovich of the Pacers and Patrick Ewing of the Knicks.
And nowadays centers they aren't as physical anymore, and most centers prefer to shoot jumpers instead of dunking like back in the days. So you can tell like the evolution of things.
It's definitely evolved. In my era, I played with a guy named by the name of Charles Oakley. My nickname for him was the Hitman.
They squared off in the garden last night, folks, and they meant business.
Anything that needs to be enforced, he was the one that was going to do it. And yes, basketball has changed. Maybe if I was playing in this era, even though I did shoot jump shot, I just didn't shoot threes. I probably would have been one of those guys like Embiid and the Joker who shoot threes.
As everything is progressing and evolving, of course, now younger kids are starting to shoot threes.
Big guys like myself, it's definitely changed where most of them now are more on the perimeter. Most of them think of themselves as a guard. There's nothing wrong with that, but I also think that it's great to be diversified, to be able to, shoot the threes, but also post up. The more things that you can do on the basketball court, the more of a demand you will be for your teams.
Well, looking back at the Knicks' intense battles with the Miami Heat, Indiana Pacers, and Chicago Bulls, how do you think the team's toughness and physical play shaped your career and overall experience of the era during that time?
I think that the way that I grew up, like I said, in my era, and from college to the NBA, I think that all that was great. All that helped shape the way that I was in the NBA. Playing against the Miami Heat or Indiana, those two teams were two of our more fiercest rival. Pat Riley, who coached the Knicks, he went to Miami, so that naturally when we played against them, Alonzo Mourning, who was one of my best friends, whenever we play against each other, we try to kill each other. And the Pacers, they were a mirror image of us. They had a big center in Rick Smith who could post up, who could shoot. They had Reggie Miller, who is a great shooter, a great player. Then they had the Davis boys, who are a lot like Charles Oakley and physical, intimidating. And then they had very good guards. So I think that all of those things made both of those teams, more one of the more competitive series.
Playing against legends like MJ, Reggie Miller, and so many others, I feel like that's definitely very tough. But yet again, in the same token, the Knicks were also just as tough during the 90s. And it just seemed like a really great era back then because, well, honestly, everyone was really putting the all into the game, and it was very physical too, so.
Yeah, playing against all those guys that you just named, definitely Michael, he was a friend, but he was also an enemy. Even though we knew each other from going back to the high school days. So every time we played against each other, we tried to, take each other's heads off. And he's one of the most biggest trash talkers that I ever knew.
I feel like that was kind of expected because based off most of the clips that I've seen of MJ, it's of him either trash talking people or dunking on people. Looking at the Knicks now, I feel like recently they have definitely got that that physicality back.
Yeah, I think the Knicks have done an outstanding job. Tom Thibodeau, all the management, Mr. Dolan, the owner, all of them has done an outstanding job. Wes, Leon, they've done an outstanding job of building this team. I was able to go to a few games this year, and just the atmosphere. I was sitting there next to Larry Johnson, John Starks, and one of the things that we were talking about was just how the atmosphere felt so much like back when we were playing. And I think that, it's remarkable. I think those guys have done a great job, and I'm glad to see the team and the city is back where it needs to be.
As a Knicks fan, I have to say I'm really proud of my team and can't wait for the playoffs. We got this time. Come on, we got it.
Me as well. I'm looking forward to it. I think that, Brunson and all of those guys, with the new additions, I'm expecting some great things from them.
Yes, and I'm sure that those great things will come. Well, I have a couple rapid fire questions for you. Are you ready?
Yep.
Favorite Jamaican meals?
There's some curry shrimp, some oxtail, all of them things. He's a real Jamaican thing, see?
Those are some good choices. I love Jamaican food. There's a lot of Jamaican spots by my house. And, I always say the same thing. I always get the same order, oxtail, rice, and peas. Hopefully next time they'll put more oxtail on my dish because sometimes—
Put some more gravy on there, man.
Yes, same here, yeah. Because sometimes they don't put as much oxtail as I like.
Put some more oxtail in our food, man. Where y'all do with that?
Oxtails? Where the innocence are one blood tail that?
Favorite bodega sandwich to eat?
A steak and cheese sandwich.
So which borough do you feel has the loudest people?
Brooklyn, man.
Being from Brooklyn, I gotta say the same thing.
Well, Jamaica's all over. We got, we got the Jamaica, we got the Puerto Ricans, we got, New York is a huge melting pot. So you got all the island people. We're all over, but I'm gonna say Brooklyn.
Will you ever make the iconic flat top come back? Will it ever come back?
Well, I would love to, but my hair is kind of. I wish I could grow it back, but this is it. This is as much as it goes.
You never know. Toupee.
No.
Toupee flat top.
So I'm gonna tell you a story. So I had to do a Snickers commercial, and they made a toupee for me to wear the flat top. That was the worst flat top I've ever seen. I'm like, all this money that Snickers made, they could at least put me in a better flat top than that.
Patrick?
What's up, Ryan?
Oops.
Get dunked on by Patrick Ewing.
Well, you heard him. Next time, he needs a better flat top.
Better flat top.
Well, thank you so much. And can you please share some words of motivation to everyone watching my show?
I think she's doing an outstanding job. She's doing something that she's passionate about. And like I said before, whatever it is you choose to be, lawyer, doctor, athlete, whatever it is, make sure that you follow your dream. Don't listen to anybody if they tell you no. Believe in yourself and keep on working to reach your goal.
Thank you so much. And everyone, I'm here with NBA legend Patrick Ewing. And until next time, Jazzin' out.